There is a story behind any person, any human being. Anybody I know in transformational profession comes from the story of personal overcoming. Overcoming a life-threatening medical condition, physical or emotional trauma, loss of a loved one or relationships, or any form of rebirth from breaking a pattern of getting into dysfunctional and abusive relationships to tremendous professional shifts, cognitive breakthrough experiences, and serious lifestyle changes. And any transformational story I hear from a client or a colleague always boils down to the same thing. I wish I knew that before.
I wish I knew the power of my own suggestibility. We take too many things for granted, and we don't know the gifts of our body and our mind that we have been taking for granted. The level of complexity of the human organism is amazing. The power of your mind, the power of those suggestions you make to yourself cannot be overestimated. Think about any negative learned emotional state, the one that you have learned by heart. In other words, something that is totally typical for the personality, like defensiveness, blaming, complaining, or something along these lines. If it's not you, of course, it may be someone you know.
Essentially, it's a pattern of thoughts that you keep consistently thinking, consciously or unconsciously, that cause emotional reactions that lead to a biochemical response affecting your physiology, and you do it over and over and over again. So if someone chronically feels trapped, feels stuck, it means that the stress response is automatically activated, whether you want it or not. That's the function of the part of your brain that is just doing its job. Now, that sense of being a prisoner of certain circumstances triggers thoughts about the hostility of your environment, your ability to cope with that, unfairness, and so on and so forth. That in turn activates all sorts of negative emotions, since emotion is the end product of your experience.
Each and every emotion has its biochemical footprint. It has a very specific cocktail that is being infused into your bloodstream to activate respective physiological response. So if you're prone to some negative emotional state, that vicious cycle of events, thoughts, emotions, reactions, and consequences that may look like your daily life, your body gets very high dose of hormones of stress that wear out your body and immune system. If that happens often enough and stays for a longer period of time.
But here's the good news. If you are equipped, armed and supported by the right insight, it is then a matter of collaboration between your mind and body. If we take that formula, that equation, and make the negative a variable, in other words, if we will become prone or addicted, if you want, to a positive emotion instead of a negative one. Let's say you become chronically happy or joyful or grateful. You will inevitably become your own placebo. And placebo effect is being exploited for a long time by business, research, and science, but it is entirely and innately yours.
That is your natural ability. And if it is activated, it leads to so many extremely positive side effects, from higher quality of life, better relationships, enhanced creativity, to so-called spontaneous remissions. Spontaneous remission is a phenomenon when a person, a regular person like you and me, finds a solution for a progressing life-threatening health condition, and thus symptoms are reduced or they even disappear. There are tools and techniques that do work. What matters most is that these tools show you what you can, what you are capable of, and so they equip and empower you with your own arsenal, backing up your personal strength. And this is invaluable, because it is about your self-sufficiency, your balance, your sustainability, if you want.
That is your personal ability to self-regulate and set yourself free, knowing that you are the only one making sense out of these things in your life, attaching meanings to the events and taking your own suggestions in, consciously or unconsciously.
You are responsible for all and any of them, even if it looks, feels and seems that someone else pushed, forced or made you do it. And the good news is that all of them are yours to change.
Within the framework of this global charitable campaign in response to the pandemic, the International Network for Transformational Practitioners is offering you this free tool to command and compel your brain to set up, to adopt and integrate this new set of suggestions for integrative immunity.
This recording can bring a lot of value to the essential services professionals fighting this virus on the front line or those at high risk.
It is now available in 10 languages, with more on the way. All you need is to constantly listen.
Unique method behind this guided meditation type of recording is going to make it work. Even if you fall asleep in the process, it is that simple. All you need is consistency. So, be well and share with those you care about.